Have you ever wondered what happens to the soul after death? Not in heaven or hell, but in that mysterious middle ground the Church calls purgatory. Is it a place of fire and torment, or a state of mercy and purification? And is it possible for the living to reach those souls, to offer them comfort or even release? For centuries, the mystery of purgatory has stood at the heart of Christian faith, a doctrine both feared and misunderstood. It is the space between judgment and glory, the threshold where souls who died in God's grace are still purified before entering His presence. Many imagine it as punishment, but the saints have always taught that it is in truth a mercy, a fire that heals, not destroys. Among all who ever spoke of this hidden reality, few witnessed it as vividly as Padre Pio of Pietrelcina. He was not only a confessor and miracle worker, he was a man who saw what most can only believe. During his lifetime, hundreds testified that Padre Pio had direct encounters with souls from purgatory, souls who appeared to him asking for prayer, for Mass, or simply for remembrance. And through his eyes, we glimpse what purgatory really is, not a myth, but a continuation of love. Padre Pio was born in 1887 in the small Italian village of Pietrelcina. From childhood, he claimed to see both angels and spirits of the departed. When he became a Capuchin friar, his mystical experiences intensified, accompanied by the stigmata, visible wounds mirroring those of Christ. But while the world focused on the blood and the miracles, Padre Pio quietly carried another cross, the constant presence of souls who came to him for help. One of the earliest and most striking testimonies comes from his time at the monastery of San Giovanni Rotondo. Late one evening, Padre Pio was praying alone in the choir when he heard the distinct rustling of cloth, footsteps approaching slowly across the floor. Perception was not imagination, but a grace. Witnesses later confirmed that a friar matching that description had indeed lived and died in that monastery decades earlier. From that moment on, Padre Pio's life became a bridge between the visible and invisible. He once confided to a spiritual son, "The souls in purgatory visit me more than the living do." At times, the brothers of the convent heard him speaking aloud to unseen guests, his tone alternately stern and tender. When asked about it, he would reply simply, "I am helping the souls who have come for comfort." But what did he actually see in those moments? What does purgatory look like to a man who has seen both human pain and divine mercy? One witness, Father Alessio Parente, who assisted Padre Pio for years, said that whenever Pio spoke of purgatory, his expression changed completely. He would close his eyes and whisper, "If you could see what I see, you would never stop praying for them." He described purgatory as a sea of longing, not fire as we imagine, but an intense thirst for God, a burning desire that purifies through love. Another time, a local farmer came to confession and asked Padre Pio whether the dead truly suffer after death. Padre Pio answered with striking realism, Yes, they suffer, but they suffer with joy because they know they are saved. Their suffering is love delayed. This vision aligns with what the Church teaches, that purgatory is not eternal punishment, but purification, where souls freely accept God's justice in order to be made ready for His presence. Padre Pio's visions reveal that this purification is more relational than physical. Souls are purified not by fire in the earthly sense, but by the burning of divine love. The Catechism of the Catholic Church explains it like this: all who die in God's grace but still imperfectly purified are indeed assured of their eternal salvation, but after death they undergo purification so as to achieve the holiness necessary to enter the joy of heaven. Padre Pio saw this truth not in abstract theology, but in faces of men and women consumed by longing for the light of God. One story often retold in his monastery involves a young man named Giovanni. He had died during World War I, far from home. His mother, tormented by grief, came to Padre Pio years later asking for masses for her son. Padre Pio assured her that he would pray. Days later, while praying in his cell, Padre Pio saw Giovanni standing before him in military uniform, covered in dust but smiling peacefully. He said, "Father, your mass released me. Tell my mother that I am in peace." And with that, he vanished. These encounters deeply marked Padre Pio's spirituality. He once said, "More souls of the dead than of the living climb this mountain." To him, purgatory was not far away. It was close, almost intertwined with daily life. The souls were near, listening, waiting, grateful for every act of prayer. When people asked him what the greatest act of charity was, he always replied to pray for the souls in purgatory. For in doing so, he said, you shorten their exile and they will never forget you. In one of his letters, Padre Pio described the souls as prisoners of love, consumed by their desire for God, yet unable to reach Him until every attachment to sin is gone. He wrote, "The fire that purifies them is the same fire of divine love that sanctifies the blessed in heaven. The difference is in the peace. The blessed enjoy it. The souls in purgatory await it." Such words reveal the paradox of purgatory, that it is both suffering and joy, punishment and mercy. It is the place where divine justice kisses divine love. For Padre Pio, purgatory was not a threat, but an invitation to compassion. He saw it not as a distant reality, but part of the Church's living heartbeat, the communion of saints, the eternal bond between the living, the dead, and God Himself. And in that bond lies a mission: to pray, to offer Mass, to intercede, because love can reach beyond the grave. As the years passed, Padre Pio's encounters with souls became more frequent and more demanding. The friars who lived with him often heard strange sounds in his cell at night, whispering voices, faint cries, and sometimes a quiet conversation in Italian or Latin when no one else was there. When asked about it, he would smile and answer simply, "They are the poor souls. They do not frighten me. They come because they suffer." He never sought these experiences, and he rarely spoke about them in public, but those close to him witnessed moments that could not be explained. One evening, Father Alessio Parente recalled seeing Padre Pio walk out of the confessional looking exhausted, as if he had carried an invisible weight. When asked what had happened, Padre Pio replied, "A soul came to confession." The friar, confused, said, "But Padre, the confessional was empty." Padre Pio looked at him and said, "You did not see him, but he was there. He had died many years ago. He was permitted to come and confess so that he might finally enter heaven." For Padre Pio, purgatory was not a realm of ghosts or superstition. It was an extension of God's mercy, a place where His love continues to work beyond death. It is God's mercy refusing to let go of what is not yet ready for paradise. And we, the living, are called to join that mercy through prayer, through Mass, through acts of kindness that cross the invisible boundary between the seen and unseen.